and just being good to one another.
The people at the top collaborate, and the people that are at the bottom compete.
Find yourself, be happy, and good things will happen.
Justice for Taco Bell.
It was everywhere.
Which I've come close to freezing to death a couple times. That one's super pleasant.
What?
Are you serious?
It can't hurt walking around in life thinking that you're the man.
Yeah. You guys are doing a good thing here. This is very good.
I genuinely love this conversation.
I love the Motive Podcast.
3, 2, 1. Welcome back to the Motive Podcast. Alongside me is my fellow co-host, Kyle Cohen.
It's me.
And we are here 2 years after we first started.
A wild ride.
A wild ride. And we were just talking. You guys notice how I hit you with a 3, 2, 1 there? On the first introduction episode of The Motive, the first words you ever heard out of my mouth to kick off the Motive Podcast was 3, 2, 1, because I kept the 3, 2, 1 in the intro.
I don't know why, but I mean,
It's amazing. It's amazing.
And here we are doing it again 2 years later.
2 years later. It's been a wild ride. And we're gonna dive into it this episode. But yeah, it's a pretty crazy thing.
It's funny how like people would we first throw out the idea or say, oh, here's our first episode that come out and all that, and then people are just like, doubting that it would last more than a month or whatever.
I think it's just natural to be like, all right, it's just like it's just a phase. It's just a phase.
Just a phase. Because how many people follow through with it? Not saying that to like hype ourselves up, but like genuinely, how many times do you look at, I guess like especially like underclassmen, how many people create a project and follow through with it like that on their own with no like just your own will?
100%. I wrote my so as we're applying to colleges, we've been talking about it. I've told you, I wrote my college essay about the pod. Mentioning the pod. I mentioned Josh Holy. Go listen to that episode. What an episode! Can we talk about that one?
It's a great episode.
I mean, I still get comments of that episode to this day.
It's just crazy to me how one can have so much experience like that, like all that crazy stuff, and just here he is now having a crazy success as a
just go through so much and still prevail. That's
yeah.
So I
did
a
lot of perspective in his life,
Yeah, I did our 2-year anniversary post yesterday, and he commented the thanks is all to you, and I was like, I'm just honored we got to tell your story, which I am. All right, for the 100th episode, we're getting someone. We gotta get someone.
You keep saying that. I mean, it's gotta happen. We gotta start reaching out.
I'm calling out Weapon X Brian Dawkins for the 100th.
We want to get it. We got a connection. We'll say.
Yeah,
and we're hoping to somehow make that work.
We can wait. We'll wait for 100, and it's gonna be the first episode of the new year, as if all goes as planned. Which it literally sets us up for the perfect 100th episode, and we need a perfect guest for it.
It's true.
But yeah, 100 is insane.
Would he be around town though? That time of year. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hey, he probably rides in on Santa's sleigh for the Eagles game.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. No, but all right. So as we sit here right now, if you, I don't know if you've gone back and listened to our intro episode at all.
Oh, it's so bad.
Ever. It's crazy to see the evolution of the intro episode. I'm all freaking. We're gonna start a podcast. Hope you guys stay tuned.
What are we gonna say next?
Yeah, we took
flow.
We took about 1 million takes.
Continuity.
We took about 1 million takes to start the episode. I forget. We were laughing. Oh no, I remember what it was. I kept saying "Welcome back." It was our first episode, and I kept saying "Welcome back." There's nothing to be welcome back to, Leo.
Yeah, just say "Welcome to."
And then finally, the 1, 2, 3 after the 3, 2, 1, the fourth word you heard out of my mouth, welcome. The fifth word, back. No. I just said it again. Welcome to the Motive Podcast. And when those words first came out of my mouth, never would have imagined they'd be coming out of my mouth 2 years later at the same exact spot. Let's talk about the evolution of the pod studio too.
Yeah,
we've got some nice pictures
here
in the background.
I have mentioned, as I mentioned to you off camera, I feel like we may be due for an upgrade or a rearrangement of the couch.
If anyone's got a couch connection,
a couch connection is crazy.
I don't know if
an
it's
extra
in the funds
couch
for me to
or
drop.
maybe if we just rearrange the way it's set up, literally, the couch.
I don't think it's a love. It's not I don't have the bougie freaking.
This doesn't separate these two.
This separates from this.
That's what I mean. Maybe we could figure something out. I don't know. That's something to talk about more. But I genuinely get so uncomfortable like looking at the guests like this. And
Yeah.
having to go like this. with the
You
mic.
have the hardest spot on the pod. I will. All right, as it should be. The guest has the best spot on the pod
No,
because you
of
can
course.
lounge in the corner and
Of
look at both
course.
of us.
It makes
like
sense.
you have a kind of a weird spot looking at the guest, and I have to like.
You just don't have.
I have
back
no
rest.
back
All-
support.
That's all it is. You don't have a back
Yeah.
rest. Yours seat is fine besides the no backrest.
Yeah,
But it's
I have a
also
nice
funny
view.
because people don't notice this, or maybe they do. But I mean, I think it's funny. Like from my seat, when I'm looking at you, I'm always like looking at you right through this
You're
like
like
stand
here?
here. Like yeah, it's
Yeah.
kind of funny because like the stand is just right here, and I'm looking at you through it. I'm not even like looking at you.
It's like I wonder like I remember a couple podcasts we've had on. It's like they like came down like after they've seen our pods and stuff, and they're like, here it is. Like this is the basement. This is it.
The holy basement. Like, I don't even know. It's just a basement.
This is it. Just and so I was talking with an ex guest, Logan Sorosi, like months ago, and he was like, dude, and this is kind of like hyping me up. He was like, dude, I freaking love the basement. He's like, no matter how big you get, you gotta keep the basement because it's like a level of authenticity. Just like two high schoolers in their freaking parents' basement shooting it and trying to make something happen. I was like,
Yep.
I've never thought about it that way, but I like that you said that.
I feel like it's a homey and comforting feeling. I would say to guests. I don't know. I mean, I've never been from that like the guest side of the podcast.
It's not like a
obviously.
studio where you walk in, there's lights like right
Yeah.
on you.
I think
everywhere.
it's less intimidating. I would say.
And that's the design. Like it's just meant to be
Yeah.
a couch where we can literally talk about anything.
You designed all the details of this basement, of course, right?
Of course, you know, when this basement first got redone in second grade, honestly, let me go on a record and say I really don't like contractors. I have beef with contractors.
What?
Every time they've
very
done any project in my house, any contractor, whether that's bathroom, basement, contractors are the worst time managers of all time. They like this has to be a comedy bit. Every freaking contractor will say, "All right, it'll be done in a week." If they say it's done in a week, multiply it by 6. That's your timeline. It just makes me so mad.
Do you
Anyway,
have to pay more if they take longer to complete
Nope.
the project?
not one dime. In fact, I think they can charge you. Honestly,
That's what I'm saying. Do you have to pay more
No,
if they do it longer?
Oh.
Like
Oh,
hourly or whatever. I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
It's like I
just
said, like there's no way. Like
No.
you were the one who told me a week, so I'm paying you for a week, and then you took 6 weeks.
It's like my
That's your fault.
bathroom started in August, and it's like they're still putting on the finishing touches because they can't freaking get their schedule together.
Is it actually not done yet?
It's like there were a couple finishing touches.
Well, I think that's the least of our problems. It's a very first world problem.
Yeah, I agree. I
But,
agree.
should we get into some of the recent events, like especially since our last episode, the
Since
election,
our last episode,
the election, possibly just touch
someone
on it a tad.
cue the
No.
Y, M, and the CA. No, I'm joking. Trust me, when I first heard that song Thursday morning or Wednesday morning, I was just like, again, we don't get political between one side or another. We'll talk politics. We look at it very straight down the middle. At least
We tried to.
we try to. And
how well
it's
that's done, but we
it's
tried
like
to.
I feel like some things we say are more one side without us knowing. Like I feel like that's just
Well, yeah,
what it
because
is.
it is part of who we are. Like, there's
Yeah.
no way we can just completely
it's
like
literally just us
remove
speaking our
bias.
thoughts.
Because if we completely remove our bias, let's think we're not being ourselves, and I think that's part of what being on this podcast is about.
True.
But I think maybe last episode we might have went over the line
But-
at times. But then again, it was an election episode, so
It's gonna
if you don't
happen.
like it, then don't listen. Whatever.
Amen. But yeah, historic. No matter what way you look at it, if you like it or if you hate it, it was historic.
I was pretty shocked. I can't say.
I
I can't lie.
I was shocked for sure. It was just like wow. Like it was just like it was and so then Wednesday in the past, like throughout the past week, it's like I've been comparing stuff to like, all right, I was friends with this person, or I was doing this the last time Donald Trump was in office, and it's like, whoa.
It's just crazy to me how it was 4th grade, dude. That's when he got.
Well,
elected.
that's when he got elected the first time. Yep, 4th grade, and then through 6th grade, and then 7th grade, COVID. It's like everything when Trump was in office was pre-COVID. So we had like a president change and COVID that literally like separated our
But
life
think-
in two halves.
Like, think about it this way: like, in terms of just the comparison of Biden and Trump in their terms, is some of Biden's like term, because a lot of people would say they did not approve of his presidency. He was the least like approval rate. That's
Yeah.
correct, right? Do you think some of that is COVID, or is I mean I would say like a lot of people
think
would
it's
just say it's
that-
Biden, but do you think I think COVID had some effect on that?
I mean, maybe. I think it definitely had an effect on Trump. I think that's why Trump didn't get elected for a second term in 2020 because of COVID.
Maybe, but I'm saying why Biden's disapproval rate is so high because of COVID and the aftermaths. That
I mean, maybe, but I also think that's a freaking soda. Like you literally just can't spit out a freaking sentence. The freaking. Can we have 3 words that
Yeah.
describe our country?
one word to describe our country. Yeah, no, it's crazy.
just bad.
Is it
Again-
okay to hate on Biden now? Because I feel like both sides don't like him now. Like I don't even know.
Is it okay to hate on Biden? I feel like.
Well, not hate on him. Okay, sorry, I shouldn't say hate on him.
but like,
Say to
now every-
openly dislike Biden and not feel like I have to be ridiculed for it.
I mean, I feel like people still like him, but everyone like it's across the board. You can't deny that he wasn't mentally there for freaking most of the presidency.
Yeah.
And
I don't
again,
know.
I don't hate him for that. I feel bad for him. Why, like it's unfair. He has a medical condition. His brain isn't there. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I think it would have been.
Theo Von
I'm,
was talking
I'm
about
curious how the election would have went if he continued to run.
someone like we were talking about last episode. Like someone's writing him in on the write-in ballot. Like Joe Biden, you're not going anywhere. Nope.
Not going anywhere. Oh, that was funny. What were you about to say? I figured you were about to say something.
Theo Von, I mentioned.
Yvonne, yeah.
Theo Von was like, yeah, it's elder abuse. Like, this is, like, I feel bad. Like, this is literally elder abuse. Like,
Yeah.
I used to work in a nursing home. This is elder abuse. It's like, yeah. Like, Joe Biden, after the debate, good job, Joe. You answered all the questions. Like, that's our baseline. You answered all the questions.
Like
Yep.
you're the president of the United States and you answer all the questions. Great. Okay.
Unreal. And Trump has his questionable moments on stage too in a very different way, but he
Yeah,
does.
he does.
Like I was listening to Joe Rogan. He's like, Trump's up there, like he can ramble. He'll go on. He'll pick a topic and go on.
You know, the cats and dogs.
Yeah. And he's like Trump's up there doing stand up comedy for an hour with
He
some
sometimes
politics.
he really is sometimes, and that's why like
It's entertaining.
Depending on
you
the
can't lie. It's
depending on
entertaining.
the audience, some people will say he's great, and some people say it's a joke and you're horrible. And like, how can you be running for president on that? You know,
Yep.
which I see both sides. So
Yep. Don't we all?
don't we all? some do not. That's not true.
Yep. That is definitely very true. It's decisive nature of the political world.
Yeah, I'm curious if it did go the other way, like how would like Trump supporters have reacted? Because we've seen how Kamala supporters reacted.
Those videos are so funny. I like again.
What videos?
The Kamala Harris supporters after she lost Wednesday, the videos are so funny. The freakouts online, they're hilarious.
I haven't seen the freakouts. No,
Bro.
I haven't seen them. I've only seen like the story posts and all that, and I understand, but some of it's just sad. Like that's the polarity we have right now. It's who the candidate you voted for. It's not even like because it's not all of it. It's not Democrat versus Republican. Like there's some Democrats that like would just maybe voted for Trump because they didn't like Kamala or whatever. Or the same thing with Trump. They didn't vote for Trump because they don't like him. So it's not even Democrat versus Republican. It's just how can voting for one candidate in one election, cause people to not like each other like that? It's just crazy. Like no respect for each other.
Yeah, I agree. Like back in the day, like people could just. And not even like again, it's like not even back in the day. It's like everything's so recent that's why it's like
This wouldn't
before
have happened with
COVID.
any of Obama's elections.
It's like even in 2016.
no,
yeah,
that was not a respectful election.
no, it wasn't.
because
but
you'd be in jail.
It
Come
wasn't,
on.
but it was more respectful than it was in the past 2 years.
Yeah.
Still, I think it was and just keep going back. But like in the
Yeah, but it got worse, and a lot of people would blame Trump for that, which I understand.
yeah, but like Trump thought Obama's policies. I think everyone can agree that Obama was sharp and like respectable.
He's a
as
great
person.
orator.
Yeah.
Fantastic orator.
Yeah, so,
a lot
but
of people love that about him, and I think
Yeah.
if there was a person to represent the president of the United States,
In terms of
that's
manner.
him. In terms of like how he acts and
yeah,
controls himself. Is that the word?
I
Like
think-
I don't know. Like yeah, just like carries himself.
I think everyone can agree that Obama was very, like you were saying, like I'm trying to look for the word, but just
Like the way he
proper,
carried
just proper.
himself,
Yeah, he
proper
carried
in the way he
himself.
carried himself.
But Trump at the same time thought Obama's policies were very far out, and
Yeah.
Trump responded to that by being very far out the other way, and that's kind of how it's like whatever.
Yeah, but I think it's more personality that polarized everything.
Yeah,
Just because he was gaining traction and winning, when no one thought he would first, and also just like the way he's doing it is kind of, and he is a convicted felon and is now the president of the United States.
Yep.
It is a little bit crazy.
It's historic.
It's a crazy world. It is historic. So.
Bro, I can't find the videos, but there's like people freaking out. Anyway, I want to move off politics because we talked
Okay.
about it last episode.
Sorry, I apologize.
No.
audience.
There's nothing to
and
apologize
Leo.
about. By the way, happy Veterans Day.
Yeah, that's true.
Shout out to all our veterans.
Today, currently, as we're recording, this is 11/11.
Fought for our rights and freedoms and everything that we do.
Yeah.
And for that,
Created after World War One, that ended on the 11th hour, the 11th day, the 11th month.
gave the ultimate, and for those who gave the ultimate sacrifice, war is it's a crazy thing. And like so many people, like I feel like it's just not instilled into like kids as much as it should be. I feel like with so many like Call of Duty games, like we grew up like
it's like it's normalized, like soldiers dying, and it's like that's not good.
Like
soldiers,
war, no matter which way you look at it, is a horrible thing. Like
it's not good.
It's just it always is, and it's nasty.
Well,
It's horrible. War is a horrible thing, and there's no arguing that. Like everyone knows that, and it's just bad.
do you ever think this is a random hypothetical? But do you ever think there was a time in the entire world, at any time, that there was not a war going on?
I am for a very limited time, if anything. But no, there's
Yeah.
always going to be conflict.
There's always some kind of conflict
I
between
mean-
something.
Yep. But it's crazy. And we're very lucky to be here in the U.S. of A.
Yeah.
Um,
I guess the thing about, well, I guess no, if we were getting another world war, that would be obviously super crazy. But I was thinking like I wonder how much. I guess people still had fear in the earlier world wars, but like World War I, World War II, like how scared would you be, if you're in the U.S. because
Yeah.
you're all kind of isolated from everybody. You're not
I think
you're not
Pearl
exactly
Harbor was
right-
really the big wake-up call.
That's true, definitely true. But I was gonna say like you're not exactly right in the middle of the warfare going on
Yeah.
in Europe, which I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
Like imagine you were a French resident during World War One.
Yeah. Have you seen? We've talked about this. Have you seen Saving Private Ryan yet?
I don't think I've seen that. I've seen Hacksaw Ridge and I've seen.
We
All
gotta
Quiet on the-
we
All
should
Quiet-
watch that this
I
weekend.
really liked All Quiet on the Western Front. That was really.
I
good.
gotta see that.
You haven't seen it yet?
No.
It's really good. The new one. The new one's really good.
Should do
lot of
we
emotion.
should do a little marathon. All Quiet on the Western Front, and then Saving. That's a lot of deep. That's deep
I would be
movies
down.
back
You
here.
want to watch that in one night? Binge that in one night? We're making our plans right now in the pod.
No, you gotta see Saving Private Ryan though. I mean, obviously it's like a legendary.
What is
movie.
it? What is it about? Is Tom Hanks in that?
Tom Hanks and Vin Diesel. That's where you gotta start. He like narrates it. He's going to find his brother who was a private.
Okay,
and
it's World War One or two.
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 And
Is he like did he get taken to like a concentration camp or what?
well, all right. I don't want to butcher. So I just want to read the description I looked up. Film follows a group of American soldiers dispatched to locate Private James Ryan so he can return home after his 3 brothers have been killed in battle. So it's very like brother. It's like brothers that lost each other. Like it's very like for the men, like just for guys, it hits like very hard.
Yeah, I get it.
When my pop always talks about, he saw it with my uncle. And like they saw it and they came out of the movie theater crying.
Really?
Like, as grown men.
How when did it come out? Sorry.
1998.
Really? Is that old? Okay. 'Cause I didn't realize Hacksaw Ridge came out as recently as it did. That only came out in 2016.
No, yeah. But Saving Private Ryan, like it's kind of known for like just it was revolutionary like at the time. And like the opening scene of that movie is crazy. But yeah, happy Veterans Day to all those who served.
Yeah.
Nova game Friday.
Yeah, we went to Villanova basketball
TCHS?
versus. As Leo calls them, TCHS, which is our tech school around here. But it was NJIT, which is I think New Jersey Technical. Oh my gosh.
Spit it out, buddy. Spit
New
it out.
Jersey. Why can't I wait? What is that word now?
Technical Institute. or
Technical
something?
Institute. Wait. My gosh. My brain is literally. Oh my gosh. it's
Kyle's
bad.
lagging on the
New
pod.
Jersey Institute of Technology. Yeah, there you go.
All right. Yeah, nice win.
I was
Good
bad.
seats.
It was 91-54 was the final.
Yeah.
It was kind of a whooping.
The
But-
Fire Kyle Neptune chants were kind of insane.
That was kind of like
I didn't
before the
expect
game
that.
even like started. That's kind of insane.
But as we were walking to the parking garage, me and Kyle are together walking to the car. Some kid comes up to us. Yo, are you guys the kids that have the podcast?
Yeah.
The Motive?
I love to see it. It was cool.
It feels good when people recognize us. Feels good. Love to connect with some people in the public.
Yeah.
He said he watched a David McLean episode. Shout out David McLean.
Yeah, because he said he was committed to NJIT for
baseball.
baseball.
Yeah.
He goes to Satterton. He said, "Oh, I'm not trying to give away this dude too much," but
I didn't even. That's,
I don't think he said his name. But anyway,
yeah. Yeah.
what was I gonna say? But no, the game was cool, and I didn't realize. Like, I don't know. It's interesting. I've never been to a Villanova game. I feel like the energy was pretty good considering it was a lower like.
It was just a
game.
Friday. It was like a very early season Friday night game. Like,
Yeah,
it wasn't packed.
early season Friday night game against a lower quality opponent. I would say.
Yeah.
So it was. I thought the energy was still good for that. It was cool. I like the announcer. I still have that thing where that dude Eric Dixon would score and they go Eric Dixon. Like it was. I don't know. It's like
You
know
didn't
what I'm
tell
talking
me that one.
what you not remember that?
I got to get Dixon on the pod.
Well, because Eric, this Dixon dude's first of all he was tough. He scored like 25.
No,
and
he's been good.
I know he's a fifth year I think.
Yeah.
So, but I looked at his stats. He dropped like
Dixon.
35 in the loss to Columbia.
There you go.
Crazy. But no, he's good. He was good. So
Yeah.
popped
Yep.
off. I was looking up like he looked huge, but he was only, I say only, but like I don't know. I figured he'd be taller. He was only 6'8". He was like 265 though. He's big, but
Yeah.
anyway. Sorry.
I want to get through some year two pod memories. Like you said, 2-year anniversary. It is honestly crazy that we're lucky enough to do this and meet everyone and do anything. And we're extremely grateful for it. Everything. The street interviews that arose this year. Got to
Yeah.
get out there soon. The game day is always the hockey game day, and that was year 2. Like we got to turn back the clocks. But I mean, we kicked off year 2. So I keep thinking year 2 is like the start of like this year, like 2024. But it's like last November is the start of year 2. You know what I
Yep.
mean? So it's like
We finished 2 years. We're
Yeah.
entering year 3.
Yep. But like to start off the new year, we had Chris Rafter. I love that episode. Shout out Chris. The guitar performance, absolutely awesome. Got to get some musicians on, but shout out Chris. Hope he's doing well. Obviously he's killing it on Instagram. Got some new music. Joshua Holy, that's one, like we said, sticks with us for sure. Like we said, every episode is unique and special, no matter what the story.
Yeah. Did I'm just trying to think. Did the Kev Nichols one, was that year 1 or year 2?
I think that was right before year 2.
Right before our 1 year anniversary.
We had
So.
Mr. Austin Huffman, legend in the car community, and I landed a job this summer through that episode. The things and the connections you make through the Motive. Billy Kyle, great episode. I'm just looking at the wall.
Can't believe the Apple Vision goggles.
The Apple Vision goggles on Kyle.
Yeah, that was crazy. So, do we even talk about that in the pod since then? Probably a little
Not
bit in
re-
the following episode.
not
But anyway,
really,
like if you're not familiar, like Apple Vision, it's like super.
Apple Vision Pro.
It's basically like crazy VR that
It's
Apple
like it's
made. that's
interactive,
really good.
VR, so you can like do stuff and like still see, but there's stuff all around you.
Yeah, but like it's crazy. It's literally like if you've seen Marvel Tony Stark's glasses, like, it's literally like that because you can still see the world around you, but like it's like looking through a phone interface while like being in the world. It's crazy, but
Yeah.
it was super good, like super cool technology. And that was a cool experience to see. That's honestly what I remember most, just because how cool that was. But
Yeah, shout out
it was a great
Billy.
episode though too.
Mr. Rupert and Mr. Prinzo. That was in the year 2.
That's
Right there.
crazy. That feels like forever ago now that you say that
know.
one.
You had there's just so many insane people we've gotten to meet. Like I really like there's so many. I don't want to like pinpoint some and not others, but like there's just so many that are great. Rico
I
Jefferson,
think
great episode right there. You got to listen to that one.
yeah.
Is there any other episodes that like we want to like pinpoint? I mean, the Valtronic
really-
guys, Shane Rush and Brandon Arpin. That was a really fun
Those were
episode.
cool. I really enjoyed the Nick Myers episode. Shout out Nick Myers.
Shout out Nick Myers.
Um,
Shout out
I'm
Khalil.
really-
Remember the Khalil Marcano episode?
That was a great
one.
episode.
And just people that have been so gracious to us. Like people come and like off camera that we don't talk about, but like people have showed up and given us gifts. Like shout out Jason Brown. Like he came bearing gifts, food and stuff like that.
Yeah, I wish I was there for that one.
Yeah, he wants to meet you.
Yeah, it'd be cool. Maybe have him back on at some point. He seemed like it was a really cool
Yeah.
conversation. I honestly haven't even listened, which is bad of me. Really bad of me. But
But
on
yeah, The improvement has been insane. Kyle, I want to ask you personally.
Okay.
And it doesn't have to be related to the pod at all. But so when we first started this, I want to give some like backstory too. But like when we first started this sophomore year, for me, and I feel like for you, maybe not as much, but like I was in a very low point of my life. And like I don't like, what do you say, you were still coming off an injury, and you were still like trying to like find.
I was moving towards doing better, but I think just throughout high school things have been so up and down for me. But I definitely think freshman year was rough, and I think it gave me a new goal, a new thing to strive for and achieve and learn from. Even when I felt like I think also just anytime about a longer project and goal like this is that there wasn't a point where like, oh, I can stop and give up. Like, no, every week an episode, except for like the exceptions, of course, where we take a week off. But but there was no like backing out. There was no, oh, okay, I'm good now, I'm done, I achieved what I wanted to. It's no, we're gonna keep going.
And that's why we've been able to do this. Like, it's just like yeah. If you wanted to, you could text me every week, be like, no, I'm not showing up to this one. Like, it's there's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah, right.
But we genuinely enjoy doing this.
Yeah, we do.
But just like as I was saying, like I was in a super low point, and it's just like I talked about this in my college yesterday. Like sophomore year, Viking block, 5th period, I was in the piano room, and word got around that Leah's playing some tunes up there or something. And then Kyle Cohen, who like, all right, before we started the pod, again, we knew each other.
We were friends.
We were friends.
We were
always friends.
I think COVID brought us together, and then like then not seeing each other in school brought us apart. And then we kind of reunited after.
But it's like, so then Kyle, it's like we weren't that close, but then it was like once it was just like me and you and Viking Bach, or like whatever the situation was, 4th period or 5th period, it was like, all right, well we got to do something. And then like it was like an escape from school. Like school was so dull for me, and I was just so like just out of it.
Well, if you remember, it started because I wanted you to teach me some piano.
Yeah. So
I wanted you to teach me some piano, which never ended up happening. You taught me a few songs, but
all right, I got you a few.
A few chords and songs, whatever.
But so you came up to the room, and then you just learned for a month or two. Like, it was probably a month, and then a good man by the name of Jack McGlinchey but it was kind of like this, like it was just this perfect molding of like different minds in this room, where it was just like
it was completely different minds.
It was just like it was such an escape from the school day. Like, because there was an hour where we were just in this like freaking 6 by 3 foot wide. Like, it was like, it's like just
3
like,
foot is a little crazy.
It was like a
stuffed in
12 by 8 foot room. Like, just, all right, wasn't that small, but a very small room. Like, you could not fit more than, like, if we had 4 people in there, like, it was like, that was pretty much good. And we would have more than 4 people sometimes. Like, if, Don't Stop Believin' was playing, a couple
or
some crowd would join us for that one.
Or what's it called, the Guardians of the Galaxy song that I'm blanking on, Mr. Blue Sky.
Mr. Blue Sky is a great
You guys
one.
played that so many times in a row. Do you remember that?
Yeah, well,
you guys were practicing for a concert,
but,
and you played that so many times in a row. I like started to like crash out because of how sick of that song I got. You start playing that, I'd be like, oh, here we go again. Anyway.
So anyway, we were in this little room, and it was such an escape from the school day. And I will stand by this till the day I die. Music is one of, if not the only, like, activity, and like it is one of the only things that I think truly bonds people together, like from a creative standpoint and just in general, and just like getting together, playing music and singing. So it's like when we were in a little room during the school day, and there was music playing, and we could just conversate in this little room with like very different minds. It was literally just such an escape. Like between 4th period, then when I had to go back to class 7th period, it was like the time just flew by. Like, it was like really weird. That's how I thought of it, at least.
Yeah.
And but yeah, then a kid. Then one day there was just a kid that joined us in the room who would just like kind of sit in the corner with a guitar and some AirPods, not talk much.
Jack McGlinchey.
Jack McGlinchey added some life to that room. You had another kid join us in there, musician. And
Okay, I was like, who are you talking about right now? 'Cause we've had so many people that went in cycles going through that
yeah,
room.
but
We'll
yeah,
not
it was
name
just
drop.
it was just so then after being in this room and like being able to bond over music and just like talk, like because we talked a lot in there, and it was a room, it was like literally a closed room from the school, so like we could talk about anything.
I wonder what our podcast episodes would look like if we just recorded some of those conversations.
Oh my gosh, bro!
I mean,
Those episodes
some
would
of
be
those
gold.
Some of those will put you in jail though. Too.
Someone put us. All right, let's clarify what we say about that. Some things we've said are like just jokingly are a little crazy
Over the
in
line.
that room, but like that's as you do.
That's
as,
what any
high
teenage
school
guy-
male.
yeah.
But yeah. So it was a interesting experience, bonding experience, and then one day. Oh, and it like caught war. Like I remember like a guest he had on the podcast, Bianca. Like she started coming in. She's like, "Play a song."
Yeah.
But yeah, and then from that, I was like, I don't want to tell a story because I've told on the motive so many times. But again, I'll always remember the time 12:50
Yep, the exact time. And the funny thing is, I remember that so vividly too.
a.m.
Like seeing it in the morning. or
It was
whatever.
a Thursday at 12:50 p.m. I just finished doing some sit-ups.
You mean AM?
AM, AM.
It was that night.
Yeah, and shoot Kyle Cohen a nice little iMessage. Let's start a podcast. As I was listening to a Joe Rogan episode, and there we go. You know how the story goes. Split the funds. Ordered same day delivery or like overnight delivery at like 1 a.m. Got the gear I needed. Here we are, and I remember, yeah, dude.
No
Crazy.
plan, honestly. There really was no plan. Just sent it.
It was no
pulled
plan.
the trigger.
There
and
was
then-
there was very basic plans. It was like, all right, can we do this consistently? And then but when we first started, yeah, there was no plan, and then it just happened. Like it just happened that I was like, all right, what day do we want to drop our first episode on? Wednesday? It was like in the middle of the week. I was like, do we want to drop it on Wednesday? I'm like, just do it on Wednesday.
and then
and
that
then-
happened to be the
And then
date.
it's like, all right, now it's like be consistent about it.
Well, because it took you like a week to edit the first one.
It took me
too.
a while
because
to edit.
you that like
I
should we
went
go through your
away.
editing skills.
Yeah,
How much
well,
better is that?
Everything
gotten?
was new. Like I had to set up accounts. I had to make passwords. I had to edit.
That's right. Didn't you go to Nashville right after the first episode?
And then I went to Nashville right after the first episode. So I'm like in Nashville and I was so anxious. I was like so excited. I'm like, I have this podcast filmed, but I have to get home to like freaking set up my accounts and like post this. I was like, I couldn't wait. Like I love Nashville, but I could not wait to get home to put out the first episode. And it was like, again, and people say this when they're on the pod. They're like, we have people on the pod all the time that text me after. They're like, dude, I can't listen to myself on the podcast.
Yeah.
And that's how it was. It's like, oh my gosh, I like can't listen to myself
How
talk
long
here.
did it take you to get used to it?
Not long.
Yeah, I
feel
was gonna
like
say because it didn't take me long either.
Because once
Sometimes I
especially-
still look at I hear myself talk. I'm like, I'm an idiot. Like hearing
Yeah.
yourself say something or stutter or whatever the case. But you get used to it.
I remember on the Joshua Holy episode, I had a bot. Like I was like, like I literally bought it for like 7 seconds in a row, and I kept it in the episode. Someone could
That's
listen
crazy.
to that. It was so funny.
Someone just clip that and be like, "This is your host right here."
Yeah. The motive.
The motive, baby.
And I can't think of what the original name was, because there was something else before the motive. There were like too many other podcasts named that. I was like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, because we were afraid of like copying somebody or whatever the case.
By the way, someone made another motive after we made this one. There's another motive out there, but
Actually?
hey, we're the OG motive.
Yeah,
But dude, I can't think of what it was called. Anyway,
we had a few different name ideas. I feel like, but who was it that came up with the motive? Was it? I thought it might have been.
I don't know.
I don't know. We're not gonna.
It might have been a group. I think I
decision.
came out with the first one. I think I definitely came out with the first one, and then we needed a different name, and like you were throwing out ideas. Maybe the motive came from you. I'm
Really,
not sure.
I thought it was the other way around. Or we had something I thought was good, and then we found a podcast that was like kind of popular
That might have
that
been.
had that name, and then you ended up saying the motive or whatever. But anyway,
That's
whatever
just-
the case.
2 years ago, it's like insane. Like it feels to me so like it feels very fast in a lot of ways. It's crazy how we've done an episode for 2 years, and like we said, being on a weekly schedule, everything feels like just so fast. So the process for me every single week: reach out to guests, secure a guest, have a guest, prepare for the guest. So research. All right, film the episode, edit the episode, then post clips from the episode to promote it. That's every week. And then guess what? that happens every single week. It's literally just a cycle. So once you're in that cycle,
It starts to flow.
It just flows, and like every week, just it's like feels like a game. It's like, all right, week, end of the year. Like it's like crazy.
Yeah. There's no. It's nonstop. There's
Yeah.
no ending.
But at the same time, 2 years ago, like I've changed like everything. Like my mindset has changed like so. Like when I started this, I wanted to have like a motivational type podcast to like almost like help me. Like I wanted to have an excuse to reach out to people to sit down and like talk to that could like share something important and inspiring. Because like I had nothing, like I had none of that at the time. And it's like 2 years ago, it feels like 5 years ago. Like I like just because of how like quickly like I've changed and like matured, obviously, as like it happens fast when you're in high school in general too, but it's crazy.
Yeah. I wonder if I'll grow as a person as much as I have these past like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah,
in my later life, you know, like from the gap of 40 to 43, will I grow as much as I've grown from 14 to 17?
Probably
I
not.
guess-
I doubt it in like a 3-year period. Like obviously you'll grow and have seasons, but I feel like it won't be as quick and as like drastic as
Yeah,
it is in
probably
high
'cause there's so
school.
much going on in high school.
Yeah, there's so much going on.
like the difference
every
between
single week.
freshman and sophomore year is so different from sophomore and junior year, and even more with junior and senior year.
Yeah, and as I'm walking around at East as a senior, I look at these kids like I remember walking sophomore year, walking through the halls, freshman, like the first 2 months of September, October, sophomore year. I remember walking through the halls just like literally miserable. Like, what am I doing with my life? Why am I here? Like, I have to put up with this BS. My classes like are horrible. And it's like as I'm walking through the halls now, it's like if only like if there's anyone going through that right now, which there is. Like
Yeah.
there is. Like
Definitely.
if they could only know like just how much change like you can do for yourself. Like just take initiative like in everything. And like my advice to anyone is just don't be afraid to do anything and knock and the door will open. Like
Yeah.
that's what it is. Like so many of these guests, like we reach out to so many people and it's like how many of these guests that I was like, all right, there's no way we could get them on for an hour conversation. And like
then it happens.
I just message them and it's like most of the time if you can relate to someone or you're gonna do something and like give them an excuse to do something for you, they're gonna do it for you. No, like in any, and that applies to any industry and like any business
Yeah.
for the most part. So
For sure.
yeah,
I think going back to what you're saying too, like just feeling like there's no direction. I think it's so easy to get stuck in that mindset too. I feel like you're
Very.
stuck, and then there's no getting out of feeling miserable or feeling like, you know, no purpose or no direction. And there's definitely things that can kind of stimulate that you know, to change that feeling. It's just you can feel so stuck and get so tunnel vision in that sense.
and all it takes is like one spark. Like oh, you see one thing, and then it's just a chain reaction eventually. But it takes effort for sure.
It
Like-
does.
Like
Yeah.
again, it's always the hardest part is always starting, and it always will be. Like, and guess what? If you don't start, you'll never know how great you can be and how good you can be. And yeah, it's you just got to start. You just got to put yourself out there and like be vulnerable. I feel like that's also important. Like
Yeah.
like I was like when we first uploaded the first episode, I was like, what? Like naturally, what are people gonna think?
Yeah.
And it's
We can
just
get
like,
trolled for this. We can get loved for this. What's gonna happen?
yeah,
And I would say we are fortunate to say that. I feel like we definitely got love right out the gate.
yeah, yep.
And that was very encouraging. Like, because what if all those people that gave us love were like, "What the heck are you guys doing? This is stupid," and whatnot.
100%.
We might not have followed through as much.
Yeah, it's like you have to. Yeah,
and
and
we're
then
fortunate for that. I would say.
obviously we've gotten some people that are like, "What the heck are you doing?" And then it's like, but
Yeah.
the love outweighs the hate, and there's always going to be more of
It
that.
does,
No matter like,
and-
and it's hard. You have to look at it that way though. You have to have that mindset. It's very very easy to say, "Oh, the hate outweighs the love," when one person's like, "Yeah, this episode freaking
Yeah.
stinks," and then, but like 4 people said, "Oh, nice episode,"
Yeah.
and you're like, "Thanks," but it's like that question wasn't
Holy NPC, the way you just said that.
no, but like that interaction might have not had as much value, even though It is like 4 loving interactions is 4 loving interactions,
Yeah.
and 1 hateful interaction is 1 hateful interaction.
Yeah, it's
And-
crazy how takes so much to build you up, but it takes one thing to cut you down sometimes. But
Yeah.
you also like I think it's your mentality that you can't let that one thing cut you down. You have to.
There's literally no reason to hate on anyone for trying. There's
Yeah.
just not.
I don't really understand the whole hatred of social
just-
media. It's crazy.
Yeah, social media definitely fuels that, and it's self-consciousness. At the end of the day, it's so easy
Yeah.
to sit in a room on your phone and see other people doing great things. Like
Yeah.
it just is.
And there's also just no. I mean, you're hiding behind your phone.
There's no
from far away.
consequence.
There's
You
no
can say it with
consequence.
no
You can say it.
consequence.
You can say your episode sucks, and you never have to speak to that person in real life, or
And
no
so
one's gonna really know you remember or know you commented that. You know.
there's no direct consequence, but I truly believe if you're out there commenting stuff, it weighs on you. Like you might not notice
you
it.
you have a heavy heart of some sort.
You
for
have
some reason.
It's gonna put a lot of weight on your shoulders without you realizing. Like it's just it's crazy.
Yeah.
You just gotta I don't know.
Keep on keeping on.
Wait, what do you say?
So keep on keeping on.
Keep
Anyway.
on keeping on. Yeah. You like
My
that?
gosh,
you
my
like that?
ankle just cracked.
You like
so
that
bad.
Russell Wilson AI parody?
Dude, that's crazy. AI videos are getting insane. Like I'm worried about like what if the news posts an AI clip and like this is real and it's not real? Like what if we get to that point? Holy transition, but
Yeah.
crazy transition. I don't know how we got here, but
That's what the motive's about.
yeah. But you know
Can
what I'm
someone
saying?
actually get us Brian Dawkins though? Like, come on.
Holy, you just transitioned again. You just did not acknowledge what I said.
Sorry, what AI news?
So, like the AI video you just showed me, it was a video of Russell Wilson like saying like some really dumb stuff about the Commanders, like basically like trolling the Commanders after beating them. It wasn't real, it was AI, and someone must have created him to like basically curse out the Commanders and whatever. But like, what if that happens for, like the news? Like, what if like they're trying to portray a candidate of some sort negatively and with AI and say, oh, this is real, and it's not real. Like, what if it's not? But because AI is getting so good, like, how does anybody know at this point?
The
crazy.
evolution in the next like while we're in college is gonna be we're evolving at the fastest rate I think we
It's
ever have.
so crazy
It's
to
like
me because
2008. It's like Steve Jobs is up there freaking. Oh, there's this screen that can fit in your pocket. Literally less than 15 years later, like
AI,
it's
artificial
like,
intelligence.
Oh my gosh, dude, it's
And
scary.
It's crazy to me how like middle school AI wasn't a thing. There wasn't really AI. Like we knew what it was, artificial intelligence. Oh, and we knew this can take over the world. And I feel like everyone was like, yeah, whatever. Didn't really see the effects of it yet. But now in high school, it's like, no, AI is everywhere. Like literally everywhere. The amount of people that use AI is crazy, and it's so good now.
I'm so lucky and fortunate that I got to grow up in elementary school and pretty much middle school again, like before COVID, before like the phones and like AI like really got established.
Yeah.
Like I'm so grateful for my elementary years. Like I think we lived in a I feel like we just lived in a great time in elementary
We actually
school.
lived it, and we're not
exactly
captured by a
Yep.
phone or whatever, and,
Yep.
and AI and all this crazy stuff. It's like, no, it's just, it felt like we lived closer to how kids did in 1900 than how kids live now.
If
You know what
I
mean?
see like a elementary schooler with a phone,
It's crazy how early they get them now.
it's like sad.
Yeah, it is.
Like, and again, if I was them in 4th grade, did I want a phone when I was in 4th grade? Hell yeah.
yeah, you definitely want.
But it's like
you didn't realize until after the fact that it's like
not at all.
you would not have wanted a phone.
And it's like, again, it's just a maturity thing. Like you don't realize it's too late till it's too late, and
It's
the
'cause
phone is something.
the phone
I
instantly,
think
the phone instantly gratifies you. Instantly gives you this
I think
dopamine.
phones are gonna be, they're so new. I think they're gonna be like, there's gonna, prediction from Leah Kosich on the Motive Podcast, November 11th, 2024. I really think there's gonna be some like major like regulation, like eventually. I'm not saying it's gonna happen in the next 10 years, but like eventually, I think there's gonna be some major like laws and regulations regarding cell phone use. Like I think it's literally a addiction, and I feel like it's gonna be classified as an addictive like
Technological.
obviously it's not an addictive substance, but like I feel like it's gonna be.
It's the same result as one. Like
I feel like it's gonna be
scrolling
in the
TikTok.
right. I feel like it's gonna be in the same category of you're addicted to vapes and nicotine. Like I feel like it's gonna be on that level someday. I truly think that.
I don't think it ever will be, but I think
I don't
like,
know.
I see what you're saying makes sense, but I can't imagine anyone interfering with that, especially because the money that it interfere with. Like the goal of social media and things like that is to get you to spend as much time as possible.
All
on
right,
it.
but-
if you're limiting the time, then you're limiting how much money companies are going to make from
I agree.
you being on it.
That's
So-
how. But like, think about it. If in 1940, if you said cigarettes were gonna have an extreme laws making them very hard to get and
expensive
expensive,
taxed and whatever.
people would be like, no way. They're just people are smoking them inside. They freaking, I'm going in the freaking Europe to bomb. Oh, give me a cig.
Yeah.
Like, you see what I'm saying there? Like, no one would have thought that for cigarettes in 1940 either. So I feel like I really think it's a possibility.
Maybe. I don't know. That's a crazy prediction there, I would say. Like if you're right, that would be pretty crazy. But I can't say I wouldn't hate it. I wouldn't mind society go back to flip phones. Can we get rid of social media and just go back to flip phones?
Hey, man.
Like I would still want to be able to call people in instances or maybe text people when needed.
Again,
But-
and it's like I say amen to that, but like, yes, I run the Motive Podcast on social media, and yes, we have a social media presence, and yes, it's very beneficial to us. But it's like you have to use social media as a tool and nothing else, and it's very hard to do that.
Yeah, people use it as like a stimulant or just a place to escape.
Yeah.
And that's basically what I would say. You could say that the same way that like a drug, you can use a drug.
I think the mental, like, that this is what I'm scared about. Like we're growing up with it. Like, I feel like when our generation dies out, like I want to see, and like a little bit before us, like I want to see like the mental, like do a brain study or something. Like
Brain
you know
study,
what I mean? Like
yeah.
I feel like it's gonna be like the attention rate and stuff like that. Like I'm very curious to see like the effects of everything.
You know, I was talking to my mom. This is super interesting, actually. She was saying, like, I was asking her because she's a school psychologist, right? So she kind of has a obviously better understanding of like certain mental aspects of
elementary?
things. Elementary, yeah. And I was asking her, like, why do you think the rate of autism is so much higher in the past 100 years?
This is
than
RFK's whole
ever?
thing.
Like it's insanely higher. It's like 1 in every 16.
Yes, very much higher.
Some of
Yep.
that is, of course, like the new criteria for testing and testing more and more awareness for it. But it's not going to account for the major increase in autism from now compared to 100 years ago. Even it's insane. And I was asking her, like, what do you think? Why do you think that is? Like, is it?
It's
what
since
is,
like 1970 or like 1990.
It's insane. It's so recent too. It's so much more.
There
And
was a
and-
law passed in it was like I want to say it was 90 about certain chemicals in food, and like the spikes after that law was passed regarding things in our food, like Fruit Loops. This is an example that they use a lot. Fruit Loops are banned in Canada.
Yeah, that's
Like
crazy.
you can't eat. They have an altered version of Fruit Loops in Canada.
Interesting. I didn't know that. So yeah, I was gonna say something along those lines where it's like, yeah, she basically said like maybe it's the food we eat, the unnatural stuff we eat, the not good stuff they put in food that probably shouldn't be put in our food.
There's so
or
much
it's,
of
or
it.
it's like maybe screens with like there's I don't know what about I can't explain it, like with being on phones and technology more, is there any effect on that and the brain that we don't know about? Because we don't even really know the cause, like I don't want to say cause, like it's what makes a person with autism different than a more typical person, like in their brain. Like there's no like concrete thing like, oh, it's this part of your brain is different in this way. No one knows. We don't know yet.
It's
So,
crazy. It's
Without that, I feel like it's hard to figure it out.
It's autism and a bunch of other disease. Like there's just been so much spike in like disease and like
Yeah.
again, I don't know all this guy's policies at all. Like I don't want to
RFK?
what RFK said I think is very interesting without a doubt, and I like what he's saying about poison in foods and like these chemicals that are just so unnecessary and ultra processed that we don't need. So in the CDC right now in 2024, approximately 1 in 36 children, or 2.3% of the population, has autism.
Yep.
1970, it was 2 in 10,000.
So one
So
in every,
one in 36
one every
or
5,000.
1 in every 5,000.
So that's what is 1 every 5,000? That's like what, like 0.00 something percent,
It's a crazy increase.
and that's since 1970.
Yeah.
That's insane. Yeah, that is insane. Because I wonder, yeah,
Um,
that's really recent too. Like that's really recent. I almost wonder if that's not even food at that point. What else could it be? You know?
it's like there's so much stuff just like yeah, it's like a lot of it like there's a crazy stat about so like how gasoline used to have lead in it.
Yeah. So that's
So-
why it all says unleaded gasoline.
Yeah, so lead. So in areas where there's some, I gotta find what exactly stat is, but I think it's something related to leaded gasoline. Like in areas where leaded gasoline was prevalent, literally the IQ rate is substantially lower just from all the gases in the
That's
air.
really interesting. I wonder. Maybe it just like inhibits brain development in some way.
I think that's, I'm trying to see. This random
That'd be something-
website, when I looked that up, it says researchers estimate that Americans lost 2.6 IQ points on average as a result of contamination from leaded gasoline in areas where it was from.
Interesting.
But like I saw like an even more crazy stat about leaded gasoline in like areas where kids were playing outside and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which I can definitely believe it. Like if you were a kid growing up playing outside around more harmful chemicals in there, then yeah, I mean,
Makes sense. Yeah. I
it's
would
like
say,
I think kids playing outside though and being exposed to disease is very important though. Like I saw like just for your immune system as a kid, like Joe Rogan was
you,
talking
you
about.
mean like,
like-
yeah,
like-
you mean like
like a kid-
colds and viruses.
yes.
Yeah.
Like-
Not
like-
saying like we don't want our kids exposed to lead now. Come on.
No. I'm saying like, I think it's genuinely good for a kid to grow up and like go play in the freaking dirt and play in the sand, like as a kid does. Like I genuinely think that's
Yeah.
just
Have them get sick a few times.
yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Like if you're like a helicopter parent as they call it, and you're like kept inside your whole life, it's like imagine like when those kids go to like
You're not actually protecting
whatever.
them from anything at that
It's-
point.
it's
You're
just
setting up a failure in
delays the
future.
process.
Yeah, it delays the process. Delays the inevitable where you're gonna have to face it and go through hard stuff, and
yeah.
your immune system kind of needs to build itself. And yeah,
Yeah. No, I feel like you gotta put your kids out there. Like again, you gotta let them get in trouble and they gotta learn. Like it's
you can't just you gotta punish them, of course, but you can't
what punishments
control
do you
their
look
every move.
What punishments do you look to pursue as a father, Kyle Cohen? Are you more of a
That's
wooden spoon spanking or,
Alright.
or a take away the Wii U? What are you?
Take away the Wii U. That's something I've been thinking about, like
How to punish your kids?
hopeful, well, no, not how to punish your kids, but as a hopeful father in the future, what should my screen, how much screen time should my kids?
And I
be
feel like it's
allowed?
gonna be so different when we have kids. Like the state of the screen and technology world is gonna be so different when we have kids.
Yeah, but like I don't know if they should have like an Xbox until they're older. Like, and I know that sounds crazy, but like.
Nah,
Yeah.
come on, that's carrying down in the Cohen genes. If your kid ever finds freaking Salty Springs Fortnite season 3, it's over. You gotta watch out for that kid.
Day.
You gotta watch out for that kid.
Me back in the day used to love some Fortnite. Anyway,
I'm gonna be in 30 years when the Motive Pod is huge. Kyle Cohen's gonna be loaded up in his nice, beautiful house, my nice, beautiful mansion. Where I'm gonna go over. We're gonna visit each other. You know, we just did an episode with who's like a big guest that we do an episode with in 30 years. We just did an episode with like
freaking Antonio Brown.
Antonio Brown. No, we just did an episode with the biggest celebrity in the world, and I'm gonna go over to Kyle's house. We're gonna have a nice little drink and a charcuterie board, and then I'm gonna hear in Kyle Cohen's basement. I'm gonna hear, "Just die, just die."
Oh my
And I'm gonna be like,
goodness.
no.
No, they don't have they don't have context for that though. Don't
Kyle Cohen.
Don't you sound like-
Can I say?
you can say it. Yeah.
So
go ahead.
when we used to play with Kyle Cohen took Fortnite very seriously.
This was in 5th grade, mind you.
More seriously than we did. And this is before there was like cross-platform playing. So we were some of the few
PS4
kids that had
players.
PlayStation, and we would play Fortnite on. And there was like 2 other kids that we knew. Shout out Michael Wall and Jimmy. And So we were on the PlayStation, and it's like, if Kyle was the first one to die, and like Kyle was the best, respectively, out of all of us, but if Kyle was the first one to die, and like 3 of us were left, Kyle would just be on our mics the whole game. Just die. Just die. You're not gonna win anyway. Just die.
I used to get so impatient and so addicted to the game that I just wanted to play for the next round. So I'd just be shouting like, "Just die," so I could play again. And I was totally rude and awful about it. But I don't know. I feel like I have to have some grace to myself. I was in 5th grade. But.
Have you ever cleared this with Jacob Rivera? I feel like we gotta mention that in a Striking episode. I feel like you generally mention that, and like you think it's like you generally mention that as like a like I feel like that still like is like something we
from 5th grade. Yeah, I don't know. I don't
you
know.
Still I feel like you still think you got beef to settle. I don't think you do.
No, I don't think it's beef. I regret it. Of course, I was a horrible friend for saying just die. Like, can we just enjoy ourselves playing some Fortnite? And I couldn't. I took it too seriously. I couldn't do it.
The first ever win, Triangle Camping, TAC SMG.
Oh my, TAC SMG on your mind.
No, but that's insane. But yeah, I can't wait for the Kyle Cohen offspring to be playing Fortnite. I really can't.
Why'd you say it like that? Offspring? Like what? Sounds like they're made in a lab or something.
But yeah, what else you got going on?
Nothing. I think the holidays coming up already is crazy. The last 3 months has flown. And I'm excited for it though. I am excited for Thanksgiving, surprisingly.
All right.
As I get hate for, but
literally, I'm being serious. Like, you keep talking about mac and cheese. Have you ever asked? Like, have you ever just been like, "Yo"?
My
can I get
mom
some
has
mac and
seen
cheese?
it enough times now where she knows I want some dang mac and cheese on my Thanksgiving plate.
All right.
So,
Are you local for Thanksgiving this
no,
year?
I'm in North Carolina with some family.
Ooh,
so,
alright.
but they might make it.
A little down south Thanksgiving. They do it different down there.
I guess I don't know. I feel like when I go to North Carolina, I don't really feel like that's South, like that part of North Carolina that they live in. I don't really feel like.
I
that's
agree.
South.
It's like, but like Virginia is like considered South. Like,
I think Virginia feels more South than North Carolina. That's a weird take, but do you know what I'm saying?
I kind of get it. Like,
Well, even
when
though
I
it's
was in
obviously
Virginia,
not.
I was in somewhere in Virginia. I forget. I stopped for like, I was going to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and it's like they were speaking like so Southern, but yeah, South Carolina didn't feel like South. It's like I think of South like Bama and and like Georgia and
Yeah.
Louisiana,
But not Florida though, which is the weird thing.
not Florida.
not
no.
Florida. They
It's
don't have- they
because
don't have-
that's like a
They don't have
it's like a
access to-
combination
Well,
of
that's because I think a lot of people migrate to Florida as they retire.
snowbirds.
Yeah.
That's a real thing.
Yep.
Yeah, Florida. You know, founded by Ponce de Leon, the Spaniard.
Okay, that's a throwback name right there. I haven't thought about that name in a long
The
time.
Fountain of Youth. He was
Fountain of
searching
Youth.
for the Fountain of Youth.
Yep. Eventually, just landed in Florida and
He
claimed
was,
it for
he was
Spain.
the OG Florida man.
The OG Florida.
The OG
man.
Florida man was looking for the Fountain of Youth, and I feel like that's still a story.
That's
that,
just the fact that is what started Florida, and that kind of flows into the Florida man stories is funny. Like some crazy guy.
Like,
some
there's
gr-
definitely a
some
Florida man
stupid
that still
guy
looks for the
looking,
Fountain of
looking
Youth.
for something. Yeah. And doing something stupid about it. 'Cause didn't he do some stupid stuff along the way? I don't even know. I'm not.
Ponce de Leon.
Yeah, I thought he did some stupid stuff trying to find the fountain. Well, probably he's trying to find a fountain.
What do we consider stupid stuff? Like he
I don't know. It's maybe some interactions with
the natives.
Native Americans that live there. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe you're thinking
Ponce
of
de
good old
Leon.
Chris Columbus, the Nona, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria.
He who must not be named.
That's so dumb.
Chris Columbus. I don't really think so. I think he's a why do we recognize him? Frankly,
Because I think we should
he
recognize
wasn't the
him.
first one there, and he did horrible things there. Worse than most of the first
A
travelers.
lot of Italians like to recognize him because he's Italian. Like a lot of Italian Americans,
Well,
like
yeah, of
genuinely
course
like
they are.
that.
They're gonna be like Italy, yeah. Like yeah, Italy, you're irrelevant besides the Renaissance. So
No, but I think we should honor him. Yes, he did bad things, but what I don't think, like I heard people talking about this on a podcast, like the Indigenous Peoples Day. All right, so like right now, Columbus Day is still a holiday with Indigenous People Day. Indigenous People Day makes no sense. You're celebrating the day that they literally like got like taken out. Like it's like Indigenous People Day doesn't make sense to have it on Columbus Day.
yeah,
Just
it doesn't. I agree with you.
It's like
So,
it's like
but
offensive.
I'd
It's like
rather,
rubbing it in their face.
Yeah, I'd rather just not celebrate Columbus though, because I can't. You know, he did some messed up stuff. So
I don't know. I'll give him. I think he's a pretty.
how did we get here, by the way?
He's an amazing guy. He did bad things too, but I still think he
He's
found
an
it.
amazing guy. I don't
I
know.
still think he was the first to like revolutionize the Americas.
Any sailor, excuse me, any good sailor.
The
Could've done
Nina,
so.
the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria. That's how you got there. You know the ships?
Yeah, of course I do.
Yeah.
He was what's the word? Sponsored by
Spain.
Ferdinand and Isabella. It's from
Yeah.
Spain. So
What do you think? Like, is that like Ferdinand? Would you consider that for your child's name?
Ferdinand? No. What'd you call him, bro? Ferd? Like, hey, Ferd?
Yeah, Phineas and Ferb.
What? Ferd. I was saying Ferd. Like Ferda.
No, I got you.
'Cause he's just so,
do you have all right?
so frat and lit.
Do you have any child names that you're like, I'd like to name my child that? Because in like 5th grade, I was like, I know what I'm gonna name my kid. And then
I have names that
I
I
met
like.
too many people name that, and I was like, no, I don't want to name that.
That's valid. I understand that. Kyle Cohen Jr. No, I'm kidding. I would never name my kid that.
That'd be so funny.
I would never name my kid that. No, honestly, I don't know. Like, there's definitely names I would say I like and I don't like, and I don't want it to be too basic. I'm not gonna name my kid like John. Like,
You're not gonna name your kid like John Joe, but you don't want to be one of those people that's like freaking like Apollo door handle, or like I hear some like insane names nowadays.
yeah, I got you. I know what you mean.
Like you don't want to be like too out there. Like you like
It's somewhere right in the middle. You know.
yeah, what's
I
right
like
in the
the
middle?
name like Silas. That's a cool name.
So you do have a name. We got it out of him, folks.
That's a name that I like.
You just took a while to answer the question. It was Silas all
well,
along.
because I was thinking of one because I've definitely thought about this before, but I couldn't remember. Do you not like that name? Silas.
I do like that name. I
Silas.
know one.
I know one. I like the one that I know.
He's a good guy.
Okay, I don't think we know the same Silas.
No, I'm saying he's a good guy.
Yeah, he's good. He's a good dude. He's
Yeah. I'm thinking maybe like a I mean Raquise is always a go-to.
Okay.
No, but
Face Jeff, baby.
no, but
Big brolic. Anyway.
yeah. Can we talk about our ping pong match? I feel like we haven't mentioned it on the Motive
Oh
Lab,
my
but
god!
me and
How
Kyle
have we
come-
never mentioned
so
the absolute wars that
it's
go
like-
behind us?
pretty much a lot of the time after our podcast episodes, like when we're off camera, we just had a great pod. We just shared someone's life story. We got super deep, and then it all comes out. Me and Kyle, after the guests leave, we shake hands. I tell them the description. It'll be out Wednesday. I give them the whole spiel, like I've done for 93 guests now.
Yep.
And then me and Kyle
We have to get some
Stroll-
energy out.
stroll down. We get some energy out. We're like, oh, that was a great episode.
Yep.
Ping pong.
Ping pong time, and in addition to that, some blasted music and those big speakers you got.
Oh my
there.
gosh,
So-
this all right. I don't know if I want to say this. I'll just say it. Like we're just talking right now. I've mentioned this to you. It's happening this June. I need someone I had to find someone to hook me up with like a venue maybe, or like the basement would be kind of cool, but it would be kind of be like I feel like it'd be too many people. Motive Pod Black Tie event.
Black tie.
It's
fair.
happening at the end of this year, like the school year.
That'd be really cool.
Like June, Motive Pod Black Tie event.
That's where we need charcuterie board.
Everyone that's been on the pod. I mean, that would be so cool. That'd be like literally the coolest. That'd be like that would be the networking
The amount of money we
opportunity.
would drop on that though would be crazy.
No, well, that's why I gotta get some we have enough connections where it's like I could get some people to help me.
That's true, but I would still have to rent a suit. And
Nah, come on, you wear your suit.
Why
You mean
can't
a tux?
yeah, like a.
Yeah, black tie event.
I don't
agree.
have black suit.
Hey, I feel like it's gotta happen. We send some formal invites to all of our guests, and it will be such a wide range of guests. Like it'll be like really.
It would be an interesting range.
But it'd be
And think
very
about some like
entertaining.
those guests that maybe were
No, but hear me out.
last minute. You know.
Yeah, you got Jason Brown, the chef we had on from QVC, great guy. You got him. You know, he could probably cook us up some great food. You got Chris Rafter, maybe play some guitar.
Dylan Zangwell.
Some
duo.
Dylan Zanewell, live music. Then you got like Logan Sarosi, Cars Chester County LLC. Like there's gonna be some pretty. We've had some pretty cool cars pull up outside the Motive Pod HQ, if
Yeah.
you would agree. You
It's
know,
true.
we have someone running valet. It's happening.
Yeah,
It's happening.
it'd be pretty cool.
We'll figure out a way to make this happen. I feel
There's
like
a
it'll
will,
be
there's a way.
exactly. It'll be a awesome time.
Yep.
But guess what? First, we are getting someone for episode 100. If you guys have any thoughts for episode 100, please let me know.
We need someone cool, someone really cool, someone special.
Someone very cool. That's all we're gonna leave it at.
Yeah.
Mr. Cowan, do you have anything else?
No, I think it was a great recap episode. And
2-year anniversary, baby.
2-year anniversary.
No one else I'd rather do it with. You know that.
Anniversary. Oh, I'm sorry, I just interrupted a wholesome statement.
Good. No one else I'd rather do it with. You know that. I texted you the other day. We've learned a lot from each other, and it's just like it wouldn't work. Like it just physically wouldn't work with anyone else. Like,
It really wouldn't.
it's
And I'm
just-
blessed to
it's
be
just-
able to do this with you. Really,
you as
seriously.
well.
Because
Every week.
no one pushes me like you, and I don't have any
And
friends that would push me like you do, and I really, really appreciate that in a way that you probably don't know that I do. So
I appreciate that, and I feel like as much as like, and I agree that like there'll be some times where it's like, I know I push you like a little too hard, like you'll get a little mad at me, but that's why it works. Like
Yeah.
we can have our disagreements and still know that it's like we're gonna be okay.
yeah,
Like I feel like someone said to me once, it's like when you just stop talking, there's nothing gets solved. But if it's like, all right, if you disagree and then you just keep talking, it's like
yeah. Well, we
You're on the
never
same
really
page.
take anything to like.
it's never that
like,
personal.
yeah, it's never disrespectful. You know, yeah,
No, 100%.
yeah. But I'm grateful to be able to do this, and I think
Grateful for
I'm-
all the fans, all the listeners,
all the listeners.
and especially all these great people. And that truly is what they are. Like, I feel like people don't realize like we genuinely appreciate like every single one of you. And it's like I feel like as a content creator, people like you hear people say that all the time. It's so easy to say like, oh, I'm grateful, like I appreciate every single one of you. But it really is like it's just like a new and like enlightened experience, like like getting to meet and talk with so many different people from different backgrounds. So Motive year 2 in the books. Year 3. We're
An
starting it.
exciting one.
It'll be an interesting one
Yeah,
because you
I
know
don't-
we got college on the horizon next year.
Yeah.
We'll just
We
see
really
what
have to do
happens.
some figuring out with that.
We'll figure it
on the
out.
back
We'll
end.
cross that bridge when it gets there. 100%.
True. That's a good way to end it.
That's a great way to end it. You know, we got some sound effects coming from the upstairs, and you know that's how you know this is the legit just basement, chillest studio in the world. So, Kyle Cohen, the best co-host in the United States of America, Leo Kosuch, the Motive.
Out.
Yeah, no.
Next
the,
week.
The
See-
Motive.
Podcast.
3, 2, 1.
Out.
Out.